doggone it, trying to start the show. The band that just bring the band down.
Cooling the game with
the band that just took off, man.
Oh, man.
Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Keith Parris. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Ramadan Mubarak for all my Muslim brothers and sisters. And Fat Tuesday's today. Today is Fat Tuesday. Tomorrow's Ash Wednesday. So get it in today.
Yeah, Doc, I'm eating everything.
Man, I brought donuts in for Fat Tuesday. So if you're gonna do that, I'm trying to figure out what fried food I'm gonna eat tonight.
Have you figured out what you're giving up?
I figured I'd give you up, Debo.
I was gonna give up lying, but that's too hard.
I second that emotion.
Yeah, that part.
Second that emotion.
We're fortunate to have. Sorry about that. Let's do this real quick. We just kind of do our little intro into what we're going to talk about.
Be careful, Jermaine. You start crying again.
Amen. Let the church say amen. I heard that.
This intro.
Man, I can't take it. I'm about to leave.
He's gonna walk out
I'm
again.
gonna leave.
I wonder if your guest even knows what the heck we're playing.
That's what I'm talking about.
I believe it was a black and white ball, actually.
Are we really happy here with this lonely game we play? Looking for words to say.
I bring it down, man, because we gonna get off.
I was getting ready to leave, Jack.
Hey, Keith, we'll end up on the couch.
I
man.
know we're on the couch.
That music do something to me, man.
It takes you to another place.
Jeez.
Oh man, that's a great segue into our guest. We have Miss Nina Johnson,
Good morning.
U.S. Bank, right?
Yes.
And she's here. You were the chairman, or the
So I run branch banking for the state of Wisconsin.
no,
at
but
US
for the
Bank.
Masquerade Ball.
So for UNCF,
F-
yes,
she
I
is-
am the chairwoman for UNCF Milwaukee's.
This is the 10th
Basketball.
annual 10th annual UNCF Mayor's Masquerade Ball
Yes.
or Mask Ball. This is the 10th one. How many have you been involved in?
You know, just as it pertains to being a sponsor, participant throughout the entire 10 years has been a part of my family, just making sure that we're supportive of it in some way. So it's been an honor to now serve as the chair and help everybody else experience what we've been able
Excuse
to
me.
experience.
Excuse me, Keith.
Mhm.
Can we get Nina's mic just a little closer?
Oh, okay. There you go.
Is that
Thank-
better?
Much better. Thank
Okay,
you. Thank
great.
you.
So, as I was saying, over the last 10 years, it's been an honor to support, whether it's through sponsorship, attendance. It's just been great to see over the last decade the ball continue to expand and support our youth. So, yeah, it's a wonderful experience, and my hope is that everybody else joins us this year.
So, just over the past decade, you raised more than $1.3 million from this ball from the for the United Negro College Fund.
Yes.
HBCU?
I'm not an HBCU graduate. I chickened out and stayed in Wisconsin, but it's okay.
It's okay.
I'm like, okay, the courageous ones can go on and we'll make sure they are supported through the scholarships that are available.
So is that when we talk about it, just and I know we're going to hopefully be joined by Ms. Rollins. So is that money that scholarships that are spent by students or given to students who are going to historically Black colleges and universities?
They are primarily, but then those students can also use those dollars in local colleges and universities here. So I think that's the beautiful thing about the HBCU program is that you can start here and eventually go to an HBCU, or you can use your dollars here for the students who want to stay in town.
Um, so you've been doing this. Generally, this is probably well attended. Has it always been the mayor's mass ball?
As far as I'm aware, it's always been the mayor who has been the host, the catalyst of why people show up and really support the event, which I think is a wonderful combination of bringing in, our local leader, as well as those community advocates supporting the ball.
We have on the line with us Miss Lisa Rollins. She's the regional development director, Midwest region for the United Negro College. What is wrong with me today?
No, UNCF.
UNCF. Whenever you start a sentence, you're always supposed to do the full name and then you go into the abbreviation. Excuse me for trying to be grammatically correct. But the United Negro College Fund. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. And we're talking about the mayor's mass ball. Talk to us about the importance of UNCF.
Well, over the past decade, we want to thank the people of Milwaukee first of all, for raising more than $1.3 million. Dollars not only help students access college, these dollars also help support HBCUs, which make up only 3% of higher education institutions, but they produce 20% of all African American graduates. And our HBCU graduates earn 57% more in their lifetimes than they will without a degree. Many times our students are first-generation college students. So every dollar we receive in this day and time is more important than anything now, because our goal is to keep young people, send them to college, move them through college, and help them have successful careers afterwards.
Is the mayor's mass balls, is this something unique to Milwaukee, or is this done throughout the country?
Actually, that's a great question. Mayor's events are done in over 100 cities across the country. In Chicago, they have a mayor's reception. In Atlanta, they have a mayor's mass ball. In Cleveland, they have a luncheon. So it just depends on the city, but overall, mayors are very supportive of UNCF.
One of the things that we talk about is how many of our young people who go off take advantage of UNCF scholarships. How many of them return to their home city then to work, bringing back the benefit of that college education?
Well, I don't know how many do that, but I do know we have several examples there in Milwaukee. We have one young man, and Florida knows his name, help me with it, Florida, who graduated from Tuskegee. He came back and he started a construction business, which has been involved in building Five Serve, Thrive on King. And Florida, I don't remember his name, but I know he came back and he tells you, I think it's Clifton.
Yes, it's Clifton Phelps. Hi, Lisa. This is Nina. Florida's not in the room. She's in the other room. But I wanted to make sure, to your point, to highlight the work that JCP Construction is doing at Thrive on Milwaukee. Great areas like Thrive on King in Milwaukee, as well as work that's been done in partnership with Bader Philanthropies, and a lot of the collective reinvestment that's happening around the Fiserv Forum. So to your point, when Clifton came back home to continue to scale the business with his dad and his brother, it was collectively I would say a launching pad for just amazing growth that started to happen right here in Milwaukee. But he used that Tuskegee undergraduate degree to really propel him to the next level and propel his family's business to the next level.
When we talk about UNCF, is now, we have private historically Black colleges and universities. We also have land grant schools. So if I'm maybe looking to go to Morgan State as opposed to maybe me going to Wilberforce, does it make a difference in terms of use of those scholarships, whether it's a land grant college or whether it is a private college?
So that's a great question as well. We have scholarships. We have student-owned scholarships at over 1,100 colleges and universities, and we don't just fund students to go to our 37 member schools. We don't just fund students to go to HBCUs. If you go to uncf.org backslash scholarships, we put up scholarships weekly. So we have over 400 scholarship programs that people can apply to. And we also do a session the first Tuesday of every month, which is called Dethrone the Loan. And that is simply to walk students, counselors, parents, anybody that's interested in going to school and getting a scholarship. We walk them through the scholarships that UNCF has for that month and what might be coming up next. So that is an absolutely great question. So depending on the particular scholarship, you could potentially go to any accredited four-year university.
Nina, talk about when, where, what people can expect for the Mayor's Mass Ball.
Yes. So the ball is it's formal. So if you have a tux, if you have a suit, if you have a gown, ballroom gown, think just to the nines. It's just a beautiful event of seeing everyone one dressed up. Of course, a mask is the requirement. You don't have to wear it the whole night, but at least if you can bring your mask or wear your mask. And I've just heard that they'll be selling some very beautiful leather bound masks on site the night of the event for your next ball that you want to go to. But it's going to be on March 29th, which is on a Saturday evening at 6 p.m. at the Pfister Hotel downtown Milwaukee. I would say if you are looking for a great gathering of people who really care about this next generation and really want to make sure that we're sowing seeds into our future, this is the place to be. Last year, I believe we raised approximately $216,000 for the students in scholarship money, but this year we're trying to increase that number to $300,000. I'm a banker, so I'm like, okay, anything greater than $300,000 is my focus, because we want to make sure that our children continue to focus on what they want to do in their future and not have to worry about paying debt while they're in school.
Tickets still available?
They are. Tickets are definitely, they're selling, but they are available. So if you want tickets as an individual purchaser, or if you're a corporation and you want to sponsor an event, please join me in being a sponsor. US Bank has been an active sponsor over the years as well. And so, it's really an honor to bring your colleagues to an event like that who really cares about our children and where they're supposed to be in their future, which is not worried about debt. Just going back to that.
And
comment.
let me say this. Thank you, Nina. Thank you on behalf of UNCF. She is doing an amazing job. And she came in at a time when we really needed her. And I just want to make sure we thank her.
It's an honor, Lisa. Thank you so much.
So if people want to get tickets, or it's still time to do sponsorship?
Yes, they can go out to uncf.org/Milwaukee MMB. So that's M as in Michael, M as in Michael, B as in boy. Once again, it's uncf.org/Milwaukee MMB.
Yeah, just where you left off, man. We really want to thank you, Lisa. Thank you. I know you. There were some logistical things you were dealing with, but thank you for the work that you all do at the United Negro College Fund. And again, that is the Mayor's Mass Ball here in Milwaukee, the 10th annual Mayor's Mass Ball. It will be held at the Pfister on March 29th, Saturday, starting at 6 p.m. Again, if they want to get tickets or sponsorship,
uncf.org/Milwaukee MMB.
Appreciate both of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Huh? Oh no, we jamming that.
The band is back.
No singing, Keith, please. Great interview. Let's keep it that way.
So let's just bring that down a little bit there, Jermaine. So we were talking off air. You're from Milwaukee.
Yes.
Where'd you go to college?
So I actually went through the University of Phoenix. I went
Okay.
through their undergrad and a graduate program because I was a senior but I was working. I started my career in high school, actually. I worked
Okay.
3 jobs my senior year of high school because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was working in banking on the weekends at the M&I Data Center on Brown Deer Road. Then I was working at an engineering firm because I thought I wanted to be an MIS engineer. And then I was working at a clothing store, which no longer exists anymore. And kids are like, where is that? I'm like, it doesn't exist
What
anymore.
was the name of it?
Gina Call in Northridge.
Oh yeah,
So I worked those 3 jobs. And
Northridge. You
yes,
dating yourself now,
I
sister.
really
Boy.
am. It's like, where is it? I'm like, it doesn't exist anymore. So,
Not
and
even the
so
structure.
not even the structure. Thank you for not even the structure though. So now, just fast forwarding, because I was a senior, I was trying to, go to school and work, and because I was going into fields that required like you needed time in the computer lab. Well, I was working and I was living on my own, so I'm like, I don't have time to take off work. So I was a senior for years, and then I finally graduated with my undergrad and graduate degree in MBA. Have an MBS in MBA, excuse me, in global business management. And then later in life, I went to Furman University in South Carolina and completed my executive MBA.
That and this is Women's History Month, and
Yes.
really talk about that. But the work that we put in a lot of times, so to appreciate that, and then the give back where you get involved with United Negro College Fund.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's so for me, servant leadership in the corporate sector, which is the marketplace, is exactly that's my why. So for me, I've served on more than 40 boards, nonprofit boards, not for profit paid boards.
Those are the good ones.
And yeah, I've yet to move over to that side, but it's about making sure that the next generation has access and doesn't have to, go through the hurdles of, the rest of us. Because there's certain things that should not have had to have been a part of your learning journey, but it was because of your economic circumstance. And so that's why UNCF is so important. It really resonated with me because these kids can really just concentrate on their gifts, their talents, their destiny, their purpose, all that good stuff that aligns with where they're supposed to be.
And I think it is this whole myth out there about when people, whether it was affirmative action, DEI, what it's saying is that it allows people the opportunity. The standards don't change.
No, they
Your
don't.
job expectations don't change. The educational requirements don't change. You still have to go in and do what you have to do, but it's opening up doors that people normally would not be exposed to. I used to be a college recruiter, and one of the things they used to say was, you can't apply for Harvard if you don't know about it.
That's right. You can't apply for Harvard scholarships if you don't
You
know
don't know
about it
about it,
either.
right?
And that's the other thing. It's like when you gain access for, leaders who are still here, who are still, helping to support the redevelopment of our city, when you have access, like I mean, I didn't know Harvard was giving away scholarships. But as soon as I found out about that, it's like I had to cast the net as wide as I could to make sure that at least one person got a chance to take advantage of that opportunity. When something is given to you, it's for a purpose, it's for a reason, it's for a season, and you have to maximize it because tomorrow is not promised.
Right. And when opportunity knocks, you just gotta be you just gotta be ready to go. There was there's a woman, I think her name is Jenna Lee. Jenna Lee, if you're AME, people would know Jenna Lee, but she was the first preacher, female preacher that Richard Allen in the AME church recognized as a preacher. We won't get into her being ordained and things like that. But what happened was she knew she had this call and she had this gift. She's a woman in the early 1800s, so you know what's happening, right?
Oh, for sure.
And so a guy gets up, he can't complete the message. She basically, there were no mics then. She basically grabbed the mic and finished it. Talking about taking advantage of the opportunity.
Mhm.
That a lot of times that, we have opportunities and you hear that word a lot, equal opportunity. But if I don't have the opportunity, how can I succeed?
That's true. And you really have to recognize it too. You there's an opportunity to be your barrier if you let it. And if you see that there's an opportunity right there, if you see that the moment has risen to the occasion that you need it to rise to, are you going to flinch or are you going to move? Are you going to, pause and second guess yourself and be, the Bible calls double minded? Or are you going to step out on walk in courage and see what's on the other side of that yes?
And I think the other thing is that it's like sometimes the fear of success is greater than the fear of failure.
It really can be. It really can be. So I mentor a lot of emerging individuals, like, who are just trying to figure things out. And sometimes they're seasoned and they just need to pivot and they're just stuck. And you can see it. Like the conversation is aligned with being stuck in a situation, but through just having conversation and asking questions, they figure it out that, wait a minute, I'm the problem.
Yeah,
I'm the issue.
yeah.
So now I need to get beyond myself and go ahead and, you know, the Bible calls it step out of faith. You have to really move forward beyond your fears and try to do something different. You keep doing the same thing over and over again. That's insanity, right?
Expecting a different result.
Expecting a different result. So, when I was on Michelle's show a couple weeks ago and the word fear was mentioned, I'm like, you know what? That's false evidence appearing real. Why are you fearing something that is not real?
You're going to get an offering.
You know what?
You're going to get an offering back there. I appreciate
That's
it.
Jermaine's cue. He used to come up with $1 or two.
He come up with $1 when you preach it. We really appreciate you. Always good seeing you, Ms. Nina Johnson. She is the Senior Vice President, Wisconsin Branch Banking, U.S. Bank.
Yes.
Oh, man. And good Lord willing, creek don't rise, everything okay. I will see you on the 29th at the Mayor's Mass Ball.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a break, and when we come back at the bottom of the hour, we'll be inside Be Healthy, Be You. We'll be right back.
Donald Trump is out of control, stopping payments for healthcare and food for hungry kids, eliminating the Department of Education, and letting Elon Musk access your most private information. Now Trump and Musk are backing Brad Schimmel because they know he'll let them do whatever they want. Not Judge Susan Crawford. She'll be the check and balance we need to protect us from Trump when he goes too far. That's why we need Judge Susan Crawford on the Supreme Court.
Your host, Keith Parris.
All right, welcome back to Community Voice. We're inside Be Healthy, Be You. Miss Julia Meeks, Miss Brenda Buchanan in Central Wisconsin. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
And do you say Happy Fat Tuesday? You do Fat Tuesday?
I don't think so.
You do Lent?
You know, I was looking it up today.
Wrote a song about it.
Because it said Catholic Lent,
Mhm.
and then it said Christian Lent.
Mhm.
And I guess we do Lent, but we don't really,
Give
and
something up.
The Catholic start at Ash Wednesday, right?
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
And we start 50 days before.
No, I know some, because again, I'm a Baptist, so we do anything. I can, no, we just, man, but I can remember as a kid, we did Lent, and we would do some fasting, because that's what it is. You give up. Primarily, I don't know where the Catholic Church is now on meat on Fridays. I don't know if that.
Not necessary. I mean, during Lent, you see more people that choose not to eat meat on Fridays, and there are some very staunch Catholics that still don't eat meat on Friday, but for the most part, it's acceptable.
Because at the Mount,
but they tend to do it during Lent.
Yeah, the Mount doing Lent, we didn't have meat served in the cafeteria on Wednesdays and Fridays, and so if you wanted meat, you had to go to the snack bar.
Oh,
fish was great though. Yeah. Because one of the things it used to be that, and I don't know if it's still part of, I should have looked it up, part of, the whole Catholic practice of, it used to be no meat on Fridays, right? And so I don't know now if that's been lifted in terms of people, because my grandmother lived on 7th and Center. You remember that paper shack that used to be right there? So she was on that block going Center. So she got relocated when they did the freeway. But right up the street from there back in the day used to be Smith Brothers. And we could smell the fish, especially on Friday. So my grandmother, we weren't Catholic, she would always have fish on Fridays.
Oh, yeah.
Which is...
But I think the whole Milwaukee did.
Fish fry. Well, because the Catholic, there was a pretty strong Catholic influence here in terms of the city, and so that was one of those practices. And I usually will find a fish fry on Friday.
They usually were cheaper. They were economical and good
and unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yes. I love a good fish fry.
Yeah, Serb Hall. But back in the day, I used to go down to Turner's Hall and that fish fry. And man, we would go from work, going back to work, smelling like fish. So it was, and wow, you just talk about just it was just so unhealthy, but it was just so good. I was watching a piece on, it was called Our Journey Through Soul Food. It was done by a guy who was actually he had become a vegetarian, I think he was. And so he was going through the whole thing where he did a history of why we eat what we call soul food. And he went to, where were they playing? I want to say Jackson State. There was a tailgate before a football game, and he went. And these dudes had put turkey. I'm trying to think. It was turkey. Then they had like ham hocks. It's like this big stew they would make, and they really pushing him to eat, right? So he ended up taking turkey, had it on some bread. He said, "I ain't gonna lie to you though, that juice or that turkey was just like amazing." But then they talked about fried food. And this will get us to what we're talking about today, because our diet has enormous impact on our functions and how our kidneys function. But he was talking about that. So there was a brother who was with the Nation of Islam. And so he was talking about, he does a whole thing on teaching people healthy eating. So dude said, He said, what about fried chicken? He said, well, I'm going to tell you something about this fried chicken, man. It's hard giving up fried chicken.
Fried chicken's delicious.
Fried chicken is
I love chicken.
look, for descendants of enslaved Africans and Africans in the New World, for those who are descendants of enslaved African who are Christian, the bones of chickens
Have
built a whole lot of churches.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
With a lot of Lori seasoning salt on it.
Yeah.
A lot of Lori.
Oh,
Because
man.
people will come buy some fried chicken.
Oh, you gonna eat
Oh,
some
yeah.
fried chicken, man. It just and then it's so I went to a PWI. So during Black History Month, they would allow us to do soul food. And it was two things that, and I want to thank this young brother really a few years ago really helped me with this. So I don't know who in the Black Student Union thought it was a great idea. They said watermelon. Doing Black History Month. And watch none of the Black students put any watermelon
on their plate.
But the fried chicken,
They
Yes.
did.
fried chicken went on the plate, man. And we do greens. They had mac and cheese, but maybe that word moderation.
Mhm. Moderation in everything, not just food, everything.
Why you make it so hard, Brenda?
You brought up the word moderation, not me. I didn't start this.
Everything.
Brenda go like, are you sure you want that?
See my face all the time. Brenda's on her show.
You really want that? But it is, we begin to talk about, and March is, it's a disease.
National Kidney Month.
Not the kidney, but every month got a disease, right? So we talk about our kidneys. Why you talk about it a lot, both of you? Why are kidneys just so important in terms of our functioning as human beings?
Well, it filters. It's like our coffee filter. It filters out bad things and allow the good things to go through.
What would be some of the bad things?
Well, it could be excess sodium. It could be excess any electrolytes, byproducts of things being broken down in your body that you have to get rid of.
It also manages your blood pressure,
Mm-hmm.
and it.
How does it? I never thought about how does it manage your blood pressure?
Part of it is just the maintaining the balance of electrolytes in your body so that you don't have too much of certain things that could cause inflammation, increase your blood pressure. You have certain hormones in your body and your kidneys that it keeps that at a balance that affects your blood pressure. That's why when our kidneys aren't working properly, oftentimes we don't notice anything until it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Is your stomach going to grow?
Yeah, probably. It probably is.
Let me get hungry.
Better get one of those. Better get one of those
donuts on
get
break.
one of those donuts out there. Which one you want, Julia? I'll go get it for you.
You were supposed to hear that.
Well, that's
I'm
pretty
trying to
loud.
hold it.
It's pretty loud, Julie. I mean,
I'm trying to.
people you gonna be okay.
Yeah, there's chips out there. There's everything out there. What you want? I
It's
got it. I'll
Fat
go get it for
Tuesday,
you.
man. I got.
Very good. And it also helps build your red blood cells. And when your kidneys aren't functioning, you're tired, you're weak, you're retaining fluid, your face is puffy, your feet are puffy. But a lot of people don't know that they have kidney disease until they go to the doctor and labs are drawn. Your labs will tell on you.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's why it's
Would
important.
Would it be some pain also, maybe?
Not necessarily. No.
Would there be something in the urine that might let us know?
End stage, usually when you're far advanced, you might notice some of those symptoms, or, your urine is dark, or it's got blood in it, or, or you're not even putting out urine the way that you should. but usually those are in stage. So usually, you go along and along and along. By the time you have symptoms, you're in pretty bad shape.
Mhm.
So that's the importance of making sure you see your doctor every year so that they can look and see how healthy your kidneys are. Some things, like we talk about chronic diseases, which kidney disease can be a chronic condition, knowing where your levels are at. They might have a change in diet. They might ask you to lose weight. There could be a variety of things to keep it from getting worse. But your kidneys don't get better from a chronic disease. If you have like an acute kind of problem, like you're suddenly severely dehydrated, you end up in the hospital, your kidneys can recover from that. But these long-term, your kidneys don't get better. So you got to take them where they're at and try to prevent them from getting worse. That's why it's so important to see your doctor before it gets to that stage where they're telling you might need dialysis, or, you have those symptoms Julia was talking about where you're just so fatigued, you can't really enjoy life. Your blood pressure's out of control.
Let's do some numbers here. It says that 1 in 3 Americans are at risk for kidney disease.
Mhm.
But this number just really jumped out, and I did a little Jethro Bodine in here and did some figuring out. Not 37 million people have chronic kidney disease. That's 10% of the American population.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And kidney disease runs in families, so it's genetic. Because a lot of times people get embarrassed when they get diagnosed with kidney disease or whatever, and you sometimes it's no fault of yours that you have this gene that would make you susceptible to kidney disease.
So let me ask you. So even though I carry the gene,
Mhm.
it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to get kidney disease if I'm doing some other things, right?
You may not get it as early.
But at some point I will.
At some point you will.
And I was looking up some statistics, and like 13% of those are genetic, meaning, that you've inherited that from one parent, or possibly two. But those are the things that even though early, you can still do things to stay healthier. So you still don't just take it as, well, this is what we hear all the time.
Yeah.
Well, everybody in my family got kidney disease, so I knew I was going to get it. A lot of that is lifestyle, but there is a portion of it that you can't help you got it, but you can still take care of yourself better so that you have better outcomes and you can live healthier.
And I think if we let people know that is a genetic factor, that people will look out for it more.
Mm-hmm.
And go to the doctor more and be more, astute about what their labs are, because and I've seen it a lot. How can I put it? When people blood pressures are so sky high and they're still on meds and it's sky high and nothing they do bring that blood pressure down, it's usually the kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's usually a kidney problem.
I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was just saying how even though her husband has been going in for treating his hypertension, it's still high.
Right. And there are, some of the specialists say if you're on 3 different classes of blood pressure medicine, because they do different things. If you're on 3 different ones and that's still not working, there probably is something else, sleep apnea or some sort of kidney issue that needs to be identified. There are meds that help with those, but you got to identify it first.
Yeah, and I knew this one guy whose blood pressure was so sky high, and I didn't know how he was walking around. It was so high, but when he went to jail, they found out.
Mm-hmm.
They I know people.
He had to go to jail.
Right? Isn't that terrible? Well, you know what? In jail, he got constant care, though, right? So they dug deeper.
Oh, I don't need to go to jail to find out I got a kidney disease.
Sometimes especially if you're not following up with
regularly. Yes.
Yeah.
Like when we had the free clinic, Hypertension was one of those things that we treated. Go ahead.
So can I ask you, what are the signs of kidney disease?
Unless you're getting your blood pressure checked on a regular basis, but you will become edematous, or you will have extra fluid in your feet and in your fingers. Your rings get tight, and you get a lot of facial edema,
puffy eyes when you wake up in the morning, especially.
So strong urine is not a sign of kidney failure.
It could be
the urine that smell.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, no.
That could be.
Because I heard that's
it could be because you're dehydrated. It could be lots of things.
And not drinking water.
Dehydration is a part.
If it's brown, it's dehydration.
Yeah, right.
So if it's brown, there's something wrong.
No, it's dehydration.
Yeah, you need to drink more.
If it's like that all the time and you're still if you're hydrated, then that would be a concern. But if you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated.
Yeah.
Right.
So when we, you have to continually drink. So when we're like, oh, I'm really thirsty, I need to drink some water, you should have been drinking water before then.
So is that sign that your kidneys is?
It could be a sign that your kidneys aren't working if it's chronic and it's all the time. But it could just be that you're not drinking enough water.
Okay, yeah.
And it can also be that you have a urinary tract infection.
Oh, okay.
So it can be a variety of things, but if you stay hydrated, that's the best thing that you can do. And if you're still noticing those things, it's time to see a doctor.
Okay, yeah, because I only asked because I was at the gym, a few weeks ago, and there was a young man that was in there that used the urinal, but it was a strong urine smell, like it was strong. So he was saying that he was having issues with his kidneys.
Okay, yeah, that could be.
Okay.
There's other things that can make your urine smell, like if you've ever, for some people, asparagus. Not everybody has that ability to smell that, but a big part of the population do. So within a couple hours of eating asparagus, if you go to the bathroom and urinate,
you can smell the asparagus?
Oh, it's awful. If you have that. Now, there's not everybody has that, able to smell that, but the majority of people do. And you think something died up in there if you smell that. And you're like, whoa, what is going on? Right. Yes. So
you terrible.
So you have to be.
But that is the issue, though. When you I never thought about. You're usually I use this term. We're getting close to 10. But pissy, like that pissy smell.
Yeah.
Maybe some leaking.
Strong,
this might be leaking,
And so then it's just the residue, right?
Could be on their clothing and their,
old. It's old.
Yeah, right.
It's old.
I know,
I can tell you when I'm drinking a lot of soda,
more
than I normally do, is that when I look at my urine in the it's bubbly.
Yeah.
So that I could.
So is that
Julia's still holding her stomach because it's bubbly.
So is that a sign of too much protein?
Well, it's not. It could be. Okay. So certain, especially diabetes and that, spilling protein in your urine, it doesn't necessarily mean you're taking in too much protein. It means your kidneys aren't functioning properly. So you're spilling protein into your urine, which is a sign that there's something wrong.
Okay.
That your kidneys aren't working at the right way. Your blood sugars are too high. There's something else metabolic going on in your body. But we shouldn't be spilling protein in our urine. But when we do, it is a problem that needs to be addressed.
What would cause us to spill protein into our urine?
DKA, elevated, high blood glucose, not controlling that, other issues that have damaged the kidneys. It can be a variety of things, but when a person's diabetic and their blood sugars are real high, that is something that has to be monitored.
But with young men, like what you're talking about, a lot of times they go into what we call rhabdomyolysis, where the muscles are being damaged or overworked or something, and it leaks out the protein, and protein gets in the kidneys and it clogs it up. And so they sometimes have to go on dialysis to clear that up.
Mhm.
But even the little ladies that said, "I've fallen and I can't get up," and they're laying on the floor, and they're down for a long time, their bodies start going into rhabdomyolysis. When they usually come into the hospital, they're in intensive care, and our job is to flush that kidney out as much as possible, or have to put them on dialysis for acute dialysis. But I know young men that go through hazing.
Yes, or the overwork. We talk about over workouts. People, these young football players or that who are just working out too much, and then that starts to break down, and that's life threatening. And you hear that every year.
You would hear that with also distance runners, because after a while you stop burning fat, because you burn all your fat. Now you're burning muscle,
and that could be that rhabdomyolysis and ketosis, where you're breaking down that fat in that muscle to use it for energy, because you have no more energy stores for your body.
A lot of people, when they were doing that Atkins diet, where they that sent a lot
puts them
of
into
people.
ketosis.
Yeah.
And that's, and a lot of people think that's a good thing, when they do these low carb diets, because they hear, well, you're going to start breaking down your fat and all of that. And maybe for some people temporarily that may not be as harmful, but for most people, or people with other chronic conditions, especially diabetes, that's life threatening. You don't want to put yourself in ketosis on purpose. That's life threatening.
We're inside Be Healthy, Be You. Miss Julia Means, Miss Brenda Buchanan. We're talking about kidney disease. Phone lines are open, 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
The Voice. You're inside Community Voice on WNOV AM and 106.5 FM with your host, Keith Parris.
That's right. We'll see about that, James.
When did I change my name to Jimmy? That's for all of us who might have grew up in single family homes and you look like your daddy. And your mama started whooping you and she started thinking about your daddy. You be going like, I'm not Jimmy.
Right. That's not my usual whooping.
Yeah, that's my usual
but
whooping.
you don't talk back during that either. You don't remind her that you're not Jimmy.
And that tells you something. But wait a minute, brother, that tells you something when you got a usual whooping. That means it's on a regular like this one.
That.
This one is kind of under the onion. Oh my God. I have had a whooping outside of the usual whooping, so I can appreciate I got a testimony. But I'm gonna tell you this. God's money gets to God's church. I'll leave it at that. I don't mess with God's money. I learned the hard way.
Oh, that's right. I remember you sharing that story.
You don't mess with God's money. And when your mama cussing you out
got
about
that
God's
money in your pocket? Where that money come from?
Uh-oh. And God does speak.
Through your mama.
You know that's your church money, right? Oh, my mama had a revelation. Anyway, so we talked about kidney disease.
And rhabdomyosis, beating someone can cause
But you know what?
rhabdomyosis.
But that's interesting too, because you hear about with athletes, boxers, where they get lacerated kidneys. And then because you hear about a lot of boxers have blood in their urine after fights because
don't they be hitting them in that area?
Oh yeah. Oh sure, that's a painful area to hit somebody. If you want to take somebody down, you hit them in that
the
kidney.
ultimate body shot. I mean, that's the one that'll take you down. I'm trying to think of the box I remember. It was this light-skinned guy. I can't think of it. He was a light heavyweight. And he hit this dude with a kidney punch.
Yeah.
It was over.
He was done.
He couldn't, but you hear a lot about the lacerated kidneys that you in football, where people are doing it. Could that then lead to kidney disease?
Sure. It bruises
if
it.
those kidneys are damaged permanently.
But everything we got to live with, God usually gave us 2 of them or made it very large. So we do have 2 kidneys and you can live with 1. And then when that one
pituitary gland, though, is not. It's kind of tough to be without a pituitary gland. Right? That's kind of little,
but it's big.
It's big. Okay, relatively speaking,
it's big. Okay. It's considered large.
Okay.
The kidneys and dialysis is a lifesaver, and it can extend your life for a long time. people need to, for some reason, people don't want to go on dialysis. It is difficult and very life. It changes your life, but it saves your life, and you need to go and do dialysis. Some people wait too long,
and it can keep you alive until, if you're eligible for a kidney a transplant, can keep you alive long enough until one comes along for you.
So we have Dr. Lakeisha Myers. We also now have Tyrone Dumas. Tyrone's talked a lot about his journey and what he had to do. It's interesting, though. You see one of the fastest growing kind of businesses you see out here is people doing dialysis.
It was like one in every neighborhood almost.
Yeah.
Well, when you looked at those statistics, 37 million people.
And I always thought that a builder should build apartments above the dialysis unit, so people that live in an apartment could just come down and get their dialysis done and go back up to their apartment. Because the hardest thing is to get them to the dialysis unit, and then they have to come back. Some people are able to drive and some people aren't. And if you're not able to drive, you got to take a transportation.
And so you might be there all day.
You got to be there. You got to wait. You got to be on dialysis usually about 4 hours. And then you got to wait maybe 2 hours to get dropped off, picked up. And it's very tiring.
So it seems that some of the contributors to kidney disease is comorbidities. I think you all talked about it.
Well, the number one cause for dialysis is uncontrolled diabetes. That's the number one. Hypertension is next.
That was surprising.
And many people have both of those. Hypertension and diabetes, they often go together because often lifestyle related issues. But that is the number one reason that we see people on dialysis, is for not just having it, but uncontrolled. So people need to keep their blood sugars low, manage their blood pressure. Oftentimes they're not feeling ill until it's really out of control, so they just go with it. And we know there's lots of reasons why people don't follow through. There's all kinds of understandable issues, but those things contribute to that.
And one of the diabetic medication causes damage to the kidneys.
That's what I was just going to ask in terms of
metformin. Everybody can't take metformin. It can cause damage to your kidneys, and it'll show in your labs. So and then right away the doctor would know, oh, you're not tolerating this metformin,
They'll take you off of it.
And they'll take you off of it. And then a lot of times, because metformin is the number one drug that they go to when you're first diagnosed with it, and some people just can't tolerate it. Then they put you on this other drug that drops your blood sugar, and it can drop it so low that they have such bad reactions to it. Then they stop taking it. Instead of calling the doctor and say, I'm not doing well with this, they'll just stop taking it. And I've never had it, but people who experience that sudden drop in your blood sugar where you just go down so low, they say it's a horrible feeling. And they'll stop the meds. But nowadays there's so much other medications out now that you should work with your physician to see if you can get the other medicine.
What about, I think that there are people who had early onset kidney disease. Wasn't that the issue with what you talked about, Willis?
Yeah, he did.
Did he have polycystic,
He had polycystic
kidney disease, which is an inherited disorder?
I don't want to say, I don't want to say Rodney Allen Rippey. Who's my guy though? What's his name?
Who?
Yeah, what you talking about, Willis? Arnold.
Yeah.
What was his government name?
Gary Cole.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and you saw how small in stature he was. Yeah. Um, it hinders your growth. And
So is it true that sodas can
oh
stop you from
yes,
growing?
no, not sodas stop you from growing. What sodas have is the phosphorus.
Okay.
The phosphorus in the sodas, especially dark sodas,
Yeah.
tend to damage the kidneys.
Right.
And that's why they say stay away. People who drink
A lot
of sodas. That's a lot of phosphorus. And that's why you don't want to take all these vitamins and stuff, because some stuff that you take can cause damage to your kidney. And another thing, another thing too is
Keith is terrible.
Can't win for losers.
That was, I don't even know if they heard that on the air. That was pretty loud, Julie.
I don't know, Julie. You want to go to breakfast after we leave here, maybe?
Snickers and let's
We got a couple donuts out there, man.
Right. I think she's gonna need a couple.
I didn't eat last night.
Okay.
Or have a chance to eat this morning. So my stomach is yelling at me. But
Feed
also
It's yelling at everybody.
Feed me, feed me.
We all in this conversation. Help me!
Right. Her stomach over there hitting Keith like, Keith,
You won't eat.
feed me, Seema.
Give her one of them candy bars.
Right. Is she fasting?
no.
Well, let me go get you a donut.
Mhm.
Also,
Also,
you got to think about some of the drugs that we take over the counter that are not good for your kidneys.
And some of them are necessary, right?
Mhm.
But like Julia said, your labs tell on you. So when you're on certain medications, your doctor may say, we need to check your liver or kidneys every 3
Yeah, you
months
make
or
me
every 6 months. They might do that because they need to see how your body's, if your body's having a problem with that.
Mhm.
One of those things that can really do damage to your kidneys is ibuprofen, Tylenol. I mean, overtaking that just because it's over the counter doesn't mean that it can't cause some kidney failure.
But when we do, I thought one of the reasons why we do Tylenol
Mhm.
is aspirin can be rather corrosive to the stomach lining.
Well, so can ibuprofen. But they work differently in the body. They work differently in the body. And that is one that she really likes, by the way. So you did a good job. See, God was in on this whole thing too.
And her
Get her
stomach
some
told me,
food.
too, like,
Right.
"Give me a donut
Right.
now."
Yes. But that's why you should never take anything long term without talking to your doctor. Your doctor might put you on ibuprofen long term, but they're going to be monitoring your liver and your kidneys during that time. So you just can't think, oh, it's over the counter, so I can just pop this all the time. I can take all this Tylenol or ibuprofen because my leg hurts, or I'm telling them myself because my knee hurts. You can't do that without having some potential
what about
complications.
people who have prescribed pain medication?
And that's why the doctor follows up. If you're on those things long term, they're checking your kidneys. There's many medications, not just those over the counter things or the ibuprofen and Tylenol, but they have you come back, say, we're going to draw labs in 6 months or 3 months. That's because they need to see, is your kidney doing okay? Or is your liver doing okay with this medication? And if it is, cool, then they'll check you in another 6 months. But they may check it and say, oh, we're going to have to take you off of this. I mean, even things like ibuprofen and that can cause your blood pressure to go up, when you're taking it on a regular basis. So you have to be careful with everything. If you feel like you need something on a regular basis, you should be talking to your doctor about that.
And most people, when they take ibuprofen, they don't take the normal dosage.
No.
They usually take more than what they should, more frequently than what they should, because ibuprofen is like what, every 6 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Some people, and then we say alternate it with Tylenol, because Tylenol is every 4, so at least you're getting something if you're in pain. But most people go, oh, I can take 2, I'm gonna take 4. I'm gonna take 4.
Right.
But it can cause
But I know I had a friend of mine, her mom is a physician, And she would say that your first dosage can be like a heavy dosage, because they tell you don't take.
Depending on what it is, they might have what we call a loading dose.
Okay.
So that first dose may be higher because they're trying to get it in your system and built up real quick.
We were talking, kind of getting back to this, but kind of the residual effects of us taking other medications. You talked about ibuprofen or Tylenol, but there are people who are, they might take a medication. It could have impact on kidney functioning, right?
Absolutely. Again, that's why you need to follow up with your doctor and get regular testing. There's so many meds that can be toxic to the liver and the kidneys. That doesn't mean they don't have a lot of really great benefits, and not everybody is going to have a bad outcome with them. But if they can check every 3 months and see that, or before the next refill date, that, everything still looks good, then you can continue on with it. But if they can remove that stressor because they see it's affecting it, then you're probably going to go back to baseline.
What would be the impact of people who are dealing with radiation treatment, dealing with chemo? Could that impact your kidney functioning?
That impacts everything because chemo kills all new growing cells. They're trying to kill the cancer. That's why they lose their hair, because that's where a lot of your new growing stuff take place at. But in order to kill the unwanted new growing cells, a lot of chemos kill it. But now chemo is so targeted and specific that is not as bad as it used to be. And they know the formulas. We really have come a long way with cancer treatment, but some chemos are harsh.
And when you're going in and getting your chemo done, you might be on IV after. They're trying to help flush those kidneys out and help get some of that out quicker, so that you're not getting such an accumulation in there. So they do whatever they can to mitigate that kind of potential damage. But it's hard. It can be hard on the body.
When you say and I was wondering, because I was going to ask about this whole idea of flushing kidneys. Whether you have kidney disease or not, do we flush our kidneys? And then if so, how do we do it?
Well, we used to do it with IVs, and we would control it because you do not want to put the heart in failure, but you want to give the kidneys a good flushing. So we would even change the different types of IV fluids that we did and the rate. But yes, you do. You can. They have, or they will flush.
Because you don't want to get fluid overload where you've got too much fluid functioning in your system, which, drinking water every day is the best things that we can do for ourselves. But we know that we can even overload on water. And when we have you can get water intoxication, so that your electrolytes are then off. And so if your electrolytes are not working properly, then your muscles, your heart, all of that is not going to be able to function adequately. So puts you at risk of harm. So fluid overload we really have to watch it when you're given IVs, but you can still do that to yourself when people are like, I'm just going to keep drinking and drinking. That can be too much.
We can live with one kidney.
Very well. And that's why some people donate their kidney to other people. That judge, I always forget his name.
Oh yeah, Mosley.
Mosley. And his one of his Caucasian friends gave him a kidney, and he said he hasn't been able to dance since.
Yeah, he always makes that joke.
Yeah, well, he had that problem before that.
He can't blame it
Don't
on
blame it on no kidney, man. Your kidney got anything to do with your dancing, man. But Craig Stingley, one of our regular callers, he donated a kidney to his brother.
Did he?
Yeah, back in the day.
That was not. That's nice because that is nice. Because
I never liked you as a kid. I'm gonna give you a kidney
because it tends to run in families, and they're gonna work you up to make sure you're not gonna need your kidney. So sometimes a brother can't pass it and somebody else can. But for a brother to say, I'm going to give you my kidney, and I've seen children give it to their parents, because cadaver kidneys are available, but they don't work as well, or they don't take as well as a live kidney do.
I was surprised when they don't necessarily remove the kidney.
They just
piggyback it.
Just piggyback it. What about is there like can people get cancer of the kidney? I know you get cancer of the liver.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I had a special person.
Hold on just a moment. Let me shout out the good folks there at the New Pitts Mortuary, Brother Nate Luckett. And there he is, Deacon Michael Jones. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. That's our tradition. You get to that corner. See, that's only moving. You get to that corner. If Nate's leading it, they still so I can do my shout out. Yeah, there's good folks over there. And certainly, praying for the family. Mother Neely Sims has made,
she was a powerful woman.
Yeah.
She could preach.
Okay.
She could preach.
Okay.
And she was a powerful woman. So Michelle has a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, I was all those years. I did not know her brother Donnie would always be at Westside. So I didn't know his daddy was a Baptist pastor, and Michelle explained because they had family there, and allowed him. That was Bishop Hyde's best buddy growing up as kids. So, but yeah, talking about that, the idea of not idea, but we were talking about that we can't. I guess you can get cancer anywhere.
Yes.
Anywhere. Yes. Yeah. Yes. And when you, that's not good.
What are and you were talking about this, but it says reduce NSAIDs.
Non-sterile, non-sterile anti-inflammatories. So yeah, like your ibuprofen, naproxen, that kind of stuff.
So now it's going back and forth on what happened with Bobby Portis. There were some people saying he was taking an anti-inflammatory.
Tramadol is what he was given instead of what was the other one? I forgot. But
Toradol.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Toradol, I think, and it was Tramadol, which wasn't allowed.
Tramadol is more like a narcotic, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And the other one is more like a anti-inflammatory.
And it was approved for use. And honestly, I mean, I don't know the details of it, but if you're not a medication person, you see two T's and they sound the
Yeah, but I had put this,
and the trainer gave it to him. From
that's what I'm saying.
The trainer's the one that
they have to know that this is a banned
something you
substance.
shouldn't be.
You should not be taking, right?
Right.
They should have a list with it yellowed or something,
right?
And not have it on the premises. I just think this was not
Bobby.
Bobby been going through.
He has
broke into his house. And
grandmama died.
Yeah, it's been a rough year for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess when it rains.
Yeah.
You can. What about people who are doing antibiotic steroids? What impact would that have on the kidneys?
Steroids on rough on everything.
Yeah, long-term use of steroids can cause a lot of damage to the body. And some diseases you don't have an option. You have to do long-term steroids. Steroids can also it takes your blood sugar up, and if you're not aware of it, usually they start putting you on blood sugar lowering medication because they know that the dose is going to cause your blood sugar to go up. So you can get diabetes just from taking
long-term steroids.
And this is not kind of, but it just came up. There's a player now who's going to set. Is that Wabanami? The kid from France, he has to sit now because of blood clots.
Blood clot in the shoulder.
Oh yeah.
That and I know we're talking about kidney disease, but that kind of. So we started talking about, when I was in the hospital, they shot me up with the medication, to prevent blood clots.
Yes.
Right? I was just trying to figure out how they even diagnose that. Is it painful? Or?
Ooh,
Oh
it's
yeah, it
painful.
was probably
So-
painful.
Okay, because I was just trying to,
Mhm,
you know, Richard Nixon dealt with that when he had, what is it, phlebitis,
mhm.
the veins,
Inflammation of the veins.
and they were concerned about blood clots.
Mhm.
I
And
do
you know, and they
Richard
get
Nixon
painful
had-
because one, they block the circulation, and so you get warm, red, very painful when that blood can't get through.
Push the button, man. Caller, welcome to the program. Push the darn button, man. Caller, welcome to the program. What you got,
Oh, you have sign
paralysis?
language over
Yeah,
here.
he's
Sign
circling in. Look like he landed a plane, man. Just push the button. Caller, welcome to the program.
Sorry.
Dude, Keith,
Hey, what's happening, man?
take a breath, man. Take a breath. I love this program and I love this community. So I heard the questioning about one kidney
Mm-hmm.
and
Was I wrong when I said you did donate a kidney, right?
that's correct.
Okay,
That is correct.
Awesome.
And I've called in several times and asked you sisters about different questions related to that. But I just wanted to share that I think after donating it, it made me more conscious of my overall health,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it made me stay focused on doing things that would be more beneficial rather than just taking it all for granted.
Mm-hmm.
But to date, I haven't had any problems, and it's been over 30 years. Now, my brother's no longer with us, unfortunately, you know, but I guess, you know, the medications that he had to continue to take, all those types of things, it just weighed on him, you know, and life started to weigh on him. But he was able to have children after that.
Wonderful.
So, you know, I've got a niece and nephews, you know, great nieces and nephews because of that. And so I'm grateful for the privilege of being able to do it. Keith, what you laughing about, man?
Julia's reaction. Julia's she had a strong. She go, "Ooh, okay, big babies."
Wonderful.
He had to be young.
That was Brenda.
That was me.
Brenda said wonderful.
Different reaction.
You know, you
Soldiers marching.
you are
Right.
you should be celebrated, and you should speak to other people because African Americans we don't even want to take flu shots, and the fact that you gave your kidney, you are
well. You know, I'd say this. I mean, Keith, and them guys know that I've had. And so if there's something that comes up in a workshop or something you guys are doing, by all means, let me know and I'll come and share what my experiences regarding this and with anyone else. Because I know there's several brothers around the city who have received kidneys, and I'll ask them about it from time to time. But I think Dr. Lucretia Myers is a recipient. You know,
I wrote Dumas to sleep on a couple weeks ago.
Right. And so, you know, again, I just think it was something that helped keep me focused on, you know, you talked about hydration and all those types of things and changing your diet. I started that when this all was first, you know, like you said, they started to work up and then all the things that came with it. It made me more informed about what I needed to do for myself. And, you know, none of us are perfect, but I'm just trying to sustain myself, you know, as long as I can. So,
how long ago did you get the kidney?
I've got a nephew. It was early 90s. Yeah, so my oldest nephew is like 34. He's got to be at least 34 years. You know. And I don't know if that was what I do recall us talking about. He wasn't able to have children because of his kidney matter. And then after that, he was able to have children. So, but you know, the most important is for the things he wants us to do. And I'm grateful to be able to do it and to still be able to have good health that I have. So with that, I'll be out. And you know, please get on my number. You can call me and talk to me.
Well, I was going to say, be careful what you ask for. They'll put you to work. Yeah, they'll put you to work. Yep. All right. See you Friday, man.
You know, I'm available. So,
See you Friday.
all right. See you then. Peace.
You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a quick break with you.
Donald Trump is out of control, stopping payments for healthcare and food for hungry kids, eliminating the Department of Education, and letting Elon Musk access your most private information. Now Trump and Musk are backing Brad Schimmel because they know he'll let them do whatever they want. Not Judge Susan Crawford. She'll be the check and balance we need to protect us from Trump when he goes too far. That's why we need Judge Susan Crawford on the Supreme Court.
All right, welcome back, and we're inside Be Healthy, Be You. Julie Means, Brenda Buchanan, Ascension, Wisconsin. And we were talking about kidney disease. I know you've talked a lot, Brenda, about people doing all these supplements, and they can have impact on the kidney, right?
Oh, absolutely. When we're, you can store too much of it in your body and it can become problematic. And that's why, I always say I have to take supplements because I don't absorb certain nutrients, but your doctor should be helping you with that. A multivitamin is not a big deal. But there's other things that you can take too much of. There are things that are stored in your fat. They can build up in your liver, cause all kinds of problems. So supplements has a place, but I would always talk to your doctor. And remember, supplements are not regulated. So it says this is what's in it, but you really have no way of knowing unless you're savvy enough to look at third-party testing, go and see, that those have been validated. But a lot of those supplements, especially those ones you see all over the internet, oh, take this and it'll do this for you. Try it for free for 10 days. And you have to be really leery about what you put into your body because you could be causing more harm than good. Plus, some of those supplements interact with the medications you're already taking that can make them either stronger or not as effective. So you really need to be careful about what you're taking.
We have a few minutes left. I want to talk about the Urban Health Ministry luncheon next week.
Yes, we are very excited about that. Matter of fact, Julie and I will not be here next week because we'll be preparing for that. But Julia, you want to share about Urban
Keith
Church?
is going to be the
Our
MC. That is awesome. But we're
don't know about all that. But
we're giving appreciation to all of our faith-based leaders. It's difficult right now to be a pastor or a minister. It's hard times right now. Churches don't have the numbers that they used to have. Trying to balance and do what you got to do and still be present in the community. The faith leaders that have signed up are the ones that say, yes, I want to provide health care and be able to give health education and information to my congregants. And they're coming. They're coming. Why are you looking like that, Keith?
Are they coming to any place in particular?
Oh, it's
or
gonna
are they
be
just wandering around?
And before she does that, I should say our Urban Church Wellness Program is we at Ascension, we partner with churches in the community to help bring healthcare and support to their parishioners and the communities they serve. So it's a partnership with Ascension and our department for the most part, as well as we have access to other people that we can bring in from education, talks, screenings, however we can partner together to provide, make their congregation healthier as well as the communities that they serve.
It is very important because like March used to be we did kidney Sundays in March, and it was a national program. And since COVID, you don't hear about it anymore, but it was a very effective program. So yes, we do things with churches. We're going to do it March 11th, and it's going to be on Thriving on King Drive from 11 to 1.
11:30.
11:30 to 1.
Doors open at 11.
But
you need to be pre-registered for that.
And how would ministers who are listening, how would they pre-register? And certainly, just the information provided makes it worthwhile. Plus, a good meal.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it should be a meal, good meal. And Penelope Stewart organized it for us, and she's she's very she has she's has perfection.
And she used to be she used to be on our team at Ascension.
You know, her dad was one of the oldest pastors in the city before he passed. Church of God in Christ on 26 off of Center. Pastor Stewart.
26 Office Center.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So she's a
I know when she was
PK
talking to me,
kid.
she was talking about, and she was giving me deference as a minister. You don't have to do that. And now it makes sense.
She was raised that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I love working with churches.
God love you.
And I know, yeah, but
but it's not just churches, because I know that there is a Jewish community that abuts
Yes.
St. Joseph's in that neighborhood.
Yes.
They're very active.
yes,
Right?
so I should say
Faith.
the faith-based community. I consider it a sure joy to work with them.
Yeah, and I think we talk about this, the importance of health, and here you have an audience, right, where you can get in, and we can be more health minded. There is this kind of real interesting balance, though, between when we're doing fellowship, and food is always part of, or should be in my mind, part of fellowship. And how do we go back an event you guys had at Ebenezer a few years ago, and Julia said that, and when she texted me, she said turkey. Tacos,
He's like, I don't need no turkey.
No turkey. What? Being all healthy. But you did ground turkey for the tacos.
Mhm.
So little things we can do, and it's incremental. I think that's the piece about health, that some days you might fail, but don't give up, right? I mean, that, you come back, and as Scarlett O'Hara said, tomorrow's another day, right? That you're able to, but I think sometimes we get so frustrated, and we're in this moment. You need to understand, okay, you might have slipped on this. It's funny because this whole thing about carbs right now, I'm a little bit more mindful of. I mean, and I think because I'm such a finicky eater, that in some way it works out for me. Like if I do French fries, they have to be crinkle fries.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, it's just but learning how to, instead of, because I do have a fryer, and I'd have mastered that fryer, but to put them in the oven and put olive oil on it. It's still going to be
Nice and crispy.
but you're not doing that fat a lot of times, that
those unhealthy fats, and deep frying.
What gets us back to fried chicken. Now there's some people, I don't, now tell me if I'm wrong. I think that when you air fry something, the meat has a different texture than it do if you deep fry it, or is that just my imagination?
I don't know. Julia's a big air fryer chicken girl.
I I air fry my hot wings, and I put them in the oven first, and then I get them crispy with the air fryer, and it's still, so I don't just put them in there raw. So yeah, they're probably done in the oven, but then I air fry them so they can.
I mean, and I know we're worried about salmonella. I think that's we're getting from
with
chicken.
chicken.
But you can overcook chicken.
Oh, and then it's just rubbery.
Yeah,
and it's hard. It's not tasty.
The secret is to make sure it's cooked through
and nice and juicy.
Nice and juicy. So when you trying to think where I went, and I got some chicken wings, and man, when you bite in those bad boys, they'd like Oh, this is so graphic. They're like a pimple popping,
Yeah.
was that too graphic? But I mean that. But I think we can't over. And black people just kill me. Black people. That's why I love all African people all over the world. I'll make sure it's good and done. Well, dude, it's good and done. So salmonella ain't gonna kill you, but that fat is definitely killing you. So it's being able, but that's always being able to balance. I think chicken is 165, but I'm usually like 170, 180. But about 165 is the minimum I'm thinking for chicken.
To fry chicken?
To fry chicken, or just cook chicken.
Oh, just cook chicken.
Make sure that it's done, just like 165. And let me tell you, folks, this is something I did later in life. Those thermostats, stick it in there, man.
Yeah, I do that in my grill.
Yeah, you can.
That's the difference in having a hockey puck and some juicy meat.
There you go. We say a hockey puck.
Yeah.
Because I had a buddy, he would drop like filet mignon, it'd be like $24 a pound, and he get his little piece of meat, and then he just burn it up. First of all, it's too small for me. I'm like Fred Flintstone. I want that Brontosaurus steak, just hanging all off the plate. There used to be a place over on Northwest Funeral Chapel, their event space. That used to be the Friendly Inn. The best prime rib. It was off the plate prime rib. And here's one of those things I love. I said I love the food at the Friendly Inn, but what I really love was the wait staff looks like they eat at the Friendly Inn. It was, and I got it. But if I struggle with anything, it's the meat. I'm not a sweets guy, every now and then I might fiend for something sweet, but I'm not a sweet guy. But when it comes to like meat, oh man, I'm pretty good with carbs, where I might not eat a lot of potatoes or things like that. Though there's nothing better than some good old onion potatoes.
My mother used to make those.
You don't make them?
No.
The smothered ones that you kind of
burn,
and then
those are they're good.
Yeah, but you don't.
No.
Oh man, that pork chops and some Jiffy cornbread, and life is good. You're not a Jiffy guy?
I don't eat cornbread.
At all.
No, I don't eat cornbread.
Why don't you eat cornbread?
You gonna eat your cornbread?
You eat dressing?
Yes, I eat dressing.
Oh, that's him, a DJ.
Did
DJ don't eat cornbread, but he eat dressing.
Oh, I love dressing. I love dressing. I hate stove topping.
That ain't dressing.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I tell people all the time, man, I hate cabbage, but I eat coleslaw.
Wait, so you hate cabbage?
I hate cabbage, but I eat coleslaw.
So cooked cabbage, but you don't mind it in a slaw.
I don't mind it in a slaw, but no.
You eat cornbread and you don't eat cabbage? With cornbread?
No, man. I'm gonna tell you, I had an experience with cornbread with cabbage.
I had experience
that I had the worst case of gas. After that, I was just like, I don't want to see it. And then my mama, we ate a lot of cabbage.
It's cheap.
There you go. And everything from boiled cabbage. My mama knew how to fry cabbage. We ate a lot of cabbage. We ate a lot of cabbage.
No, I think for me,
the fact I'm even eating chicken today.
Me too. I'm going to get me a nice seasoned bird and I'm gonna chop it up and eat it all day. But for me, I think what ruined me from cornbread was hot water cornbread. I had that and I'm like, what is this?
What about crackling?
I've never had that.
No, it's a southern thing.
Yeah, crackling.
That hot water cornbread tastes like water and a whole bunch of stuff in your mouth and no seasoning. I was like, this is the worst.
You didn't have the right hot water cornbread then.
Oh, so it's supposed to taste like something?
Oh yeah, hot water cornbread's delicious.
What about people who put jalapeno peppers in their cornbread?
Wow.
I don't. I love jalapeno peppers, but I've never put it in my cornbread. I've eaten it somewhere else that had it in it. I've never don't do it myself. But it tastes delicious.
Really?
The
jalapeno with cornbread?
Foods, though, that you
Man,
make
y'all
for
putting me up on something.
When they leave you, you know they leaving.
Hello and goodbye.
Hello.
Goodbye.
It was hot coming in, it's hot going out. It would be just like. But what we talk about that people who do spicy food, does that have impact on your intestines? Is that necessarily a bad thing for your intestines?
Not necessarily. Like some of the stuff that, these chemicals that they put in it, like the hot Cheetos and stuff like that, that has, dyes in it that can be harmful. And if you're not eating, if that's all you're eating, that can be harmful. But hot food, I mean, most of it is bacterial, anti-inflammatory, tastes good, and everybody can tolerate. Some people, I can eat heat, Julie and I, and we're like, it's not hot at all. Other people would taste and be like, oh my God, because we both like hot food.
DW3s, is it
Oh, their
Inferno?
hottest one?
And my buddy Russell, he was eating his eyes, he was sweating, and I was like, dude, I don't know. I mean, because after a while, like Nashville hot chicken basically is just cayenne pepper. You don't even taste the chicken because it's the heat. I think you got to have a balance because you still want whatever you put.
You want to taste it.
You want to taste it, right? Do the what was it? One of my favorite sub shops is Suburbia, and
really,
you know, like
Suburbia. I thought you was going to say that's Subway.
Subway. I don't like Subway.
No.
I don't know what it is, and they bake their bread their own, but I don't. Now and they can tell me. Maybe I'll do a poll. We do children's church every second Sunday, so we're usually doing cousins. But I want to ask them if they want Jimmy John's or Subway.
I have found that a lot of people haven't really tried Jimmy John's, a lot of Black people, because they go to what they're used to, and they like Cousins a lot.
You like Jimmy John's?
I like Jimmy John's. I like Cousins better. And I say that because when we've ordered for groups, and if we've given, they prefer Subway over Jimmy John's.
Really?
Yes.
What about Cousins?
Cousins too.
Yeah,
But Jimmy John's not in our neighborhood.
Well, and that's why I said they've not tried it. A lot of people haven't tried it.
Yeah.
And so they go to what they know, and Cousins and Subway are known.
And I think, and look, I remember when Cousins first came, because again, the cold sandwich shop was Suburbia, and they ended up selling some of their locations then to either Cousins. But I remember when Cousins first came out, I said they're never gonna make it. Wrong. And
because when they first came out, that was considered expensive to pay for a cold sandwich.
Yeah, but cold sandwiches was really good munchy food. And so when you were downtown, was it one potato, two potato?
Oh, that potato place.
That potato place down there in Wisconsin?
Yes, Lord.
And Ned's
I
was
spent
there.
many of my college days going there.
And then Suburbia had a spot, and then for my Marquette alum, I hated this spot. Real Chili, I hated Real Chili.
I still have never had a cup of Real Chili. Really? And on Marquette's campus, everybody was eating Real Chili. I've still never had a cup of Real Chili. They tell me it's delicious, but I don't know.
They stayed open late for a reason, because, man, people be rolling out those bars. And what was, it became Sobelman's, was it Angelo's Pizza right there?
Yes. Very old, dark.
And then they were open when you were there. And I was telling someone about one of the best fish sandwiches, how I got turned on to eating breaded mushrooms.
Oh, that little place that was
Wells on Wells.
Oh my! That's where I developed my love for fried mushrooms. I would go over there and just get a bag. They put them in a bag of those fried mushrooms.
Oh, we gotta go.
We having such a good time.
I know.
Just got the hand signal.
But the Wells on Wells, when they did the fish sandwich, they would do shrimp. Oh my God.
They had really good food.
See,
was my.
Wow. There was another place. There was like a little Mexican spot up in the little mall there, and but of course at 2:30, everything tastes good. But they used to have this. It was called. Well, let me say, Kenneth, Debo, thank you, sir.
Somebody come to see you.
He said, "What there?" But let me thank everybody for the program today. This is Will Creek, Rise, so for talking about it, as always.